Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and Happy New Year to everybody. I am so excited that we are into 2019. 2018 was a pretty darn good year, so I'm excited for what this next year has to bring. So I wanted to start it out with the video I haven't really done before, and I know it might be a little negative, but it's all in fun. So today, obviously, as you know by the title, I am going to be doing a full face using products I don't like. Now, this isn't to say that these products aren't good. These are just products that I have and I have tried and don't work for me and my taste. If you love them, power to you, girl. Like, do your thing. It's just not for me. So I just wanted to get that out there. It doesn't mean the brands are bad. Absolutely not. In fact, most of these brands I really, really like. These particular products I'll be using for whatever reason I didn't like. They didn't work for me. They weren't my color. All that. But yeah, so make sure you guys subscribe before I get into the makeup. My giveaway is still going on for a few more days. The winner will be contacted this Saturday, and I will link the video explaining the giveaway and all of the items included down below in the comment section. But make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on that. But without further ado, let's start messing up our faces with some not so great makeup. Okay, our hair is tied back because it's probably gonna get a little messy in here. And the first product I want to use today is, of course, my primer. And this one, again, love the brand, love the brand. This is the e.l.f. Poreless Face Primer. So this, again, love the brand. They're super affordable. They're a great value. This primer, though, makes me, it feels very oily on my skin, and it just doesn't seem to work. A lot of their primers do, but this one in particular, again, this is the poreless one. It just becomes like a greasy silicone-y mess on my face. So even though it's not silicone based, it's more of a foamy base, but let's just smear her on. Yeah, it's just, it just does not feel good for me. It's just greasy. And it has a very strong smell. It's a floral smell, so it could be worse, but I don't particularly like floral smells. Oh my gosh. The foundations, I don't really have a lot that I just don't like. So I kind of narrowed it down to two different things. One of them is the BB cream by Flower Beauty. This is in the shade BB1. Now, I like some of their others, but this shade, it's very, very watery. And even when you shake it up, it just doesn't work for me. This particular BB cream was not so great. And on the other one I'm going to be mixing with it was the Burt's Bees Goodness Glows foundation. I was super excited when Burt's Bees came out with foundation and makeup beyond their skincare products because I love the skincare. But this foundation was natural. Finish is putting it lightly. It's light coverage, like smears around, doesn't stick. It's very patchy. So I'm going to do a combination of these two products on my face. So I'm going to start with the Flower Beauty one and just kind of tap that in with my fingers before using a brush with the Burt's Bees foundation. Now the Burt's Bees doesn't make me feel icky in any sort of way. It just doesn't do much for me. Okay, so I zoomed you guys in like super close just so you can see what I'm talking about. So it's really patchy like around my cheeks here. On my nose, it's just like barely covering. Like it's so streaky and it barely covered anything. Like it gets to the point on top of using that primer, it's just moving around my face. So it's just patchy, streaky, blotchy mess that is just moving around my skin rather than covering it and soaking in and really, you know, getting the effect we want. So for concealer, again, love this brand. And this is the Conceal RX Physicians Strength Concealer by Physicians Formula. Now, the only thing wrong with this one, and this is like the complete opposite of the foundations, this stuff is so thick. And I'm all for a full coverage concealer. I am all for something that's going to hide the bags under my eyes. And boy, does this do it. But it's so thick that it doesn't blend very easily, even when you don't use a lot. It doesn't blend very well. It is so thick that it dries you out. Even if you don't typically have dry under eyes, it will dry you out, and it creases and cakes. So I love that it does a great job at concealing, but it's just too thick of a concealer for me. Okay, so now that that is smeared onto my face and just looking a mess, the powder I'm going to use today is the only one that I still have, because I did do a purge a while ago, that I'm still like, oh, I probably should have just gotten rid of it because I'll never actually use it. And this is the Flower Beauty Loose Powder. Now, I love this loose powder. So I love the loose powder. I love this brand, obviously, but this shade is way too dark. This is in the shade LO2, and for a face powder, it is way too dark for me. So that is the only reason that I'm using this, not because of the product itself. See, this is just a little dark, you know. Just a little dark, but. Oh yeah, see that? That's not a good look for me. It's not like the worst of these products either that I'm using, this blush, but it was probably the blush that works the absolute least for me that I own. My least favorite, like, contouring, highlighting kit, all of that, is this one by Ellen Tracy that actually broke a little bit while I was trying to pull it out, show you guys. So it has like highlighting shades in it. See, it just, yeah, started breaking. It has like some highlighter shades, and then it has like a brightening powder, and then it has bronzer. And I know my face is already kind of crazy with that loose powder, but we're just going to go in with those shades anyway. The shades here are just, they're very warm toned, and this is like a caramely color, and then this is just like a really deep brown. So the tones just don't work. I actually just bronze up, oh, it's already super brown face. See, it's actually really pigmented. It's just the colors that are bad. I'm also going to use that same palette for highlighting, because while on like my hand they're pretty darn pigmented. I don't know if you guys can kind of see that, probably not. They're a little pigmented. They come across when you actually apply them as really dusty. And I just did my brush in there pretty lightly, and it's like all over the pan. So that just kind of goes to tell you just how dusty these highlighters are. And then you try to put on your face and like nothing comes off. So just, in me personally, not a fan. See, now it's like super streaky, and yeah, it just doesn't really work like you would hope they would the way they swatch. Also, they smell like kids makeup, you know, that kind of very plasticky smell. So that's it for the face. We're gonna move on to eyes. And for eyeshadow, I have the L'Oreal Noir palette. This is very much like their smoky palette, and you can open it up and you see all the different shades. It has a small mirror in there. This palette I wanted to like because I thought it'd be great for a dark smoky eye. I mean, giving these shades hello, but it's too dark, way too monochromatic. Like, there's not enough difference, so when you start blending them out, they all just blend into one big patchy shade. So I'm just gonna dive right on in, and we're gonna go in with this dark gray shade, and we're just gonna put that into the corner of the eye. This is gonna be a very dark look, obviously, and it's not gonna be the cleanest, but that's why we're using this palette. No, I did not put a primer on because they're fairly pigmented, but also I'm just not keeping this makeup on all day. But I wanted to preface that because if you guys can see, not only does it start to look like I have a black eye, but it's very patchy around here. So it's not an even application, and I don't have a wet base on there. It's just my eyelid. So it's not like it's clinging to certain wet spots versus others. It's just the shadow. And next with the black shade right next to, actually, let's go with the really dark blue. It's like a midnight tealy blue shade. We're going to use that on the outer corner of the eye. Then I'm going to go in with a flat brush into this bright blue shade. I do like that shade for itself. I just wish it was a little bit better done with a wet brush again. And I'm just going to put that all over my lid. This shade saves this palette for me, honestly. It's a very pretty royal blue, and it's less patchy and more pigmented than the darker shades. And then to try and lighten this crazy look up, I'm going to go in with the silver shade here and just put that on the inner corners on top of that blue, which isn't doing much. The light shade is not pigmented at all, so let's try the white shade. Okay, we're going to do it this way. I'm going to try with a finger. When all else fails with shimmer shade, try with your finger. Okay, so it also was had a lot of fallout, which is fine with dark colors, like it's to be expected, but with the terrible base I already have on, it's already like clinging to the outer corner. So this is a great look we have. So we're just gonna move on to eyeliner. And so for eyeliner, this is the Pretty Vulgar Top Secret eyeliner. Now I like the brand Pretty Vulgar, and when they first came out I was really excited. Their packaging is always so adorable, their theme is adorable, but this eyeliner gets so dry so fast you can't finish like both eyes without like going back in, like covering it up, trying to shake it up. It gets very dry and it doesn't work very well as much as I would love it to, because again, I like the brand, it's very patchy, but like you really have to work at it. So this is just probably one of my least favorite eyeliners of like all time. And just so you guys know that I'm not exaggerating on this, I'm gonna do a little swatch here. And of course it worked there. But like, see how dry it is? That's like the first one I'm really pressing down. I'm not gonna press that down that hard on my eye. And then here's like a normal, it's just patchy and it's not very like black and dark. You just gotta, I don't even think any came off on my second eye. So we're just going to move on, moving on to mascara. Now I don't hate this mascara, and actually I wanted to use a different one for this video, but I think I got rid of it when I did do my decluttering. I really wanted to use the Rimmel Scandalous Eyes, the retro one. The regular one I like, but the retro one, oh, it's awful. So another one that I'm not the biggest fan of is the one from NYC, New York company, and this is the Get It All mascara. And I used to be able to find this brand in Walmart. I don't know if you can anymore. And this is the only thing I've ever gotten from them, and it just is, it's a clumpy mess that doesn't do much other than clump. I mean, it's not terrible, but it doesn't lengthen and it doesn't really add volume. It just basically makes them look darker, but it doesn't lift or curl. It doesn't really do anything. It just helps be like, oh, you do have lashes. Okay. I mean, they're not pretty lashes, but at least you have them. Okay, so eyebrows are next, and the product that I'm like kind of all on for that is the Wet n Wild Color Icon Brow Pencil by Wet n Wild. I already said that. It's not that it's terrible, it's just not the best either. The color for me is very off for one, but also when I try to fill it in, it's almost like too waxy to where it's just, I don't know. It just, I don't like the formula on it as much. I can use it, so it's not like I just absolutely, like the eyeshadow palettes, struggle with it. It's just not my favorite, you know? And finally, the last product I have for you guys is lips. Now, again, this was not so much the formula, it's more of the color and like the line of the products I can't work with. This is the L'Oreal Paris Pro Matte Liquid Lipstick. These are the less chocolates. This is part of the old line. They've added a bunch of colors that look really nice, but I've tried a couple of these and they're all very dark and brown. Like, I get that it's chocolate, it's going to have a little bit of that brown, neutral, warm undertone to it, but these are just, I just don't like the way that they look on me. I don't like the dustiness of them. It's just not my favorite, and these are not ones that I would wear like ever, to be honest. I do like the smell. I do like the chocolate smell. It smells like chocolate milk, so I will say I love that about this product, but overall the actual use of it, I don't ever wear them. This is probably not as bad. Like, I have one shade that's actually much worse than this on me. It's just the true brown, which I don't have the skin tone to pull it off. All right, you guys, so this is it. This is the full face using products that I don't like. The lips aren't as bad, and the brows aren't as bad, and the blush isn't as bad, but for the most part, these products just don't do it for me. Again, this video was just for fun as we go into the new year, starting fresh. Just want to do something kind of funny and amusing and use the products that I don't really like so I can still use them up. Again, this is no offense to any of these brands, and no offense to any of you guys if you like these products. Again, these are all just personal preferences. You know, we all have our own opinions and thoughts, and certain things work for us that don't work for others. But I hope you did enjoy this video. If you did, make sure you give it a thumbs up. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Again, don't forget to subscribe, and don't forget to go into the comment section and make sure that you guys follow along so you can have a chance to win the giveaway. It is still open, but until I can get more videos out for you guys, again, Happy New Year. I hope it's amazing for you, and I hope your celebration was great, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye.